Hi and welcome to a Trailmakers tutorial on how to build amazing planes such as the one on screen. This tutorial will go through all the basic steps for beginners or maybe even a helpful tip for someone who's quite advanced or possibly a novice at the game. You'll be able to build awesome jets with amazing textures and decals, as well as some amazing World War II planes as well. Anyways, let's get straight into this. The green arrow shows you which way your hinge is going to go. What you want to do is you want to go to Configurator and disable inputs. Then you've got your first step ready of hinge glitching. You then want to grab a NOR logic gate and configure it to this little switch on the steering hinge. This will allow it to go without actual input. Once you've done this, you then change the angle to whatever you want so it lines up with the blocks. For example, you could do 90 degrees for a full right angle, or you can do 30 for a slight acute angle. This way you'll get the perfect shape you need. I use hinge glitching for the wings to get the perfect angle, and I also use it for the tail to get the perfect angle. You want to put a cockpit over this seat, but because of the outline you can't. With a piston, wherever you place it, the retracting part will go. So on this second block, it will go down there, and on this third block, it will go to there. What you want to do is go to Configurator, and you can change the starting pos to whatever you want. 0 meaning it will go to red, and 0.5 meaning it will go halfway in between, and 1 meaning it will stay at the top. You want to get rid of any input, and then you're ready for the next step. Once you've made a cockpit that needs to connect to the piston, you change the pos to what you think is right. I'm going to change it to 0.5, and there we go. However, I don't think that's quite right. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to change it to 0.3. As you can see, the cockpit now wraps around the seat, and it also works in first person, which is pretty cool. I use piston glitching for the seats on my planes, and I also use it to disguise parts such as the front of this propeller. Once you've selected the blocks you want to decal, you then choose the decal of choice. For this I'm going to use the circle. You can change the size of the decal, and you can also change the colours, being primary and secondary. Now sometimes you just want to add that little bit more detail to a decal, so you grab a panel or a decoration of choice and you change the style to glass. This way it stands out and you won't be able to see it, and you want to change it to light grey so it looks invisible. This way we have extra space to put more decals. So for an example, I'm going to put a star to make a custom logo. And with this, you can make much more complicated and much more realistic decals than before. You can make logos, or you can even use it to make your very own faces. Here, I'm using it for a more complex decal, while on the Spitfire, I'm only using a single glass piece. Now, once you've finished one of your planes, such as the 4K Wolf, it looks good, but it's missing that little bit of rust, that little bit of realism. So what you can do is you can go in one by one and select the parts you want to change to a different style. The main styles I use is wood, weathered, and the fabric. This way you get a realistic looking texture. After a while, you'll start to get something that looks like this. Now, it's not that noticeable on this plane, however, on some other planes it is much more noticeable and gets taken accounted. And there you have it. That is my full tutorial on how to make stylish planes such as this one. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope it's taught you a thing or two about making planes. Now this way you can show off to your friends, and you can also upload some amazing planes to the workshop, making people think you're a master plane builder. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this one, and enjoy the rest of your day.